Good afternoon. It's Sunday. Can't believe it's Sunday already. Not quite sure how we got to Sunday already, because it feels like only yesterday afternoon was Friday. But we are exceptionally near the end of strip number 1. As you can see, this is the end. We are very near the end. And, depending on mood and stuff, there is a distinct chance we will not finish today. It looks a lot, but because this is quite simple, it does work up. Not that the others aren't simple enough, but it does work up fairly quickly. We've done the main motif. We normally manage about an inch, so we'd be down here. So it's really kind of not that far away. So let us begin. I was up far too late last night, as always. Oops. Let me roll up my roll because, well, that's kind of a necessary part of this, otherwise it's not doing its job. So keeping it up and out of the way because it will fall off. Need a pin. So I have a roller on the back of my roll. Scooch it forward. See, little roller, little wooden roller here, to hold the workplace. Now, it is technically not essential, because you can just have it dangle off down the back. You really can. But obviously, I have dogs. And the last thing I really need is dog putting a claw through it and giving it a hefty tug. Or chewing on it, or sitting on it, or, wiping the butt on it. Whatever they do, it's a dog thing after all. Don't need them messing it up. Because that would mean I'd be annoyed at them for all my hard work, and they wouldn't understand. So it is a good idea to protect it, and the easiest way to protect it is to roll it up. Now, the little wooden thing really is daft, is the right word for it. Just roll it round. Now, it has got an elastic on it, and I'm semi-debating why I put it on there. Because I originally thought it would be good because you could hold it and, have it trapping down the end, stop it flapping. So should it fall off, it will just not go anywhere. But it's not what I did with it. It's not what I actually did. And so, well, as a result of not actually doing that, it's not actually helping anything being there. I did use it to trap the initial end, to help it wind round it and not just spin. But, it's what thumbs are for, that's kind of a thing. So yeah, but it's just a piece of elastic. It's nothing that exciting. It's not it's not a permanent feature. It's an optional thing. So I'm a little tired today, a little bit frayed at the edges for not having got enough sleep, and I really must stop going to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to go. Hey Necklacer, how you doing? Yeah, I go back to work this week, so really must stop going to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I've only got a few days to turn it around, so I must. The problem is I find that, you know, I do stuff all day and time passes fairly normally, and then kind of 10 o'clock at night what do you mean it's 4 o'clock in the morning? I don't know how it happens, and I am not falling asleep. I just get into something late at night because my brain's in the mood, and I think that's part of the problem is my brain is in the mood at 10 o'clock at night. And I need it to stop being in the mood at 10 o'clock at night because, well, I need it to go to bed and do bed things and sleep. The other thing, of course, is that because I'm going to bed at a different time and waking up at a different time, I'm finding I'm dreaming more, or at least I'm remembering more of it, if that makes any sense. Because I'm not. I know that they often say that if you don't remember your dreams, if you don't think you're dreaming, it's not that you're not dreaming; it's just that you're not remembering it. Well, I kind of can agree that I think that can be a very valid option. But last night I was dreaming of one of the first jobs I had, and it was kind of like, why? That was like 30 something years ago. Why? Why would I be doing that? But it was just like I was there, only slightly in more modern circumstances, which was a bit odd, as dreams inevitably are a little odd, because, well, that's why they're dreams. And because that's part of one of my first jobs, or this particular job, I ran payroll. Now, I didn't run it as in financially, I ran it as in computerly, in that I sat there and I triggered it, I sat there, I printed off all the pay slips, I decollated the pay slips, I produced the back file tape to send to the bank. So I did the payroll, and basically I was dreaming about doing the payroll, but like now, it was about me going back to work, so I think that's where it actually stems from. But for some reason, it picked that job, not my current one, and so it was like, you know, they'd been doing my overnight shift, because I don't do any shift work here, and they'd been doing my overnight shift that I did back then, and it took all frigging night, and when I came back, of course, it didn't take long, so obviously related to the patching thing that I've done, and it was just that kind of, Liz comes back and suddenly it only takes, like, you know, 20 minutes and not 16 hours or whatever, and it's kind of like, okay, but that didn't actually happen. Yeah, I dropped a pin again. Yes, never mind. just realised something I need to do. Hang on. Just need to post yesterday's video actually. It is really annoying to have to post the videos because you can't just get the link for things, you have to click on it. Things you have to... that's... Why is there one saying 12 minutes ago? Anyway, pretty sure I want that one. It's really hard to turn. Pretty sure it's that one. You have to go and get the links from everywhere. Stop trying to put previews on everything. And then you do the hash to bring up the tags, and the first time you press hash it doesn't work. So you have to go back and do it. And I have to copy it of what I did because, well, the other one, hit paste, get rid of the thumbnail, grab the picture, hit add, and hit post. Alright. What made me think of that was this morning I realised that the thing I wrote the other day has one flaw, so I fixed, well, one obvious flaw today, which was that if it had problems or it finished doing something, it would throw up an OK box for you to confirm that it had done it. Well, of course, if you're asleep, can't move on to the next step if it's sitting there waiting for you to press a button. So I fixed that this morning. Because of course, normally I stay up and let it and have to wait. But I didn't last night. I went to bed. you out a bit because, well, you're a rightly mess. So how you doing, Net Kisser? Kisser's gone to sleep. Which is sleepy sleeps. Good. 1, 2. something with Pathfix. Thought they were doing their race. Or it might have been yesterday. Looks like it was yesterday, maybe? Oh, no. It's later today. Okay, that's cool. I'll watch that. Kind of something good to do. Not a bit stare at it and not think too hard. Pathfix R2 race is quite cool because no matter how hard I try, I am not fast at getting through Pathfix. Even if I don't die, which is unlikely. Even in event of not dying, these people have like completed the kind of known content almost. I think Gormus did it in what, 2 and a bit hours? In 2 and a bit hours, I'm not even out of Act 1. There's 4 acts. To me, it's just... And, you know, obviously, if you watch some of the people, you know, like the mainstream streamers who are playing Pathfix, they've got all this big, special, fancy gear. They've bought it, they've crafted it, they've farmed for it, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And there's me basically walking around in my underpants, right? In comparison. But these guys on their speedrun, they don't have time for, you know, they can't buy gear because it's a special league, so there's no one to buy it off. They can't use previous gear farmed because, again, it's all hyped up. And so they're kind of sent out butt naked, like all of us start on the first character. It's like it's their first character, but obviously they've played it plenty, right? But they somehow... My problem is that I just don't seem to have the armour that resists the damage to plough through it. Even if I know exactly what I need to do and where I need to go, I still can't plough through it because it doesn't die fast enough. I'm too busy running away to a bit to not die, or, you know, and so the fact that they can do it all in such a short period of time, I do find absolutely astounding. And so I do enjoy watching it, because the only difference between me and them is they can and I can't. You know, it's a little like watching some of the car races on TV. Now, I'm not talking like in film and stuff. I'm talking Formula 1, well, slightly less, but TOCA touring car, where basically loads of Ford Mondeos get on a track and whiz around it, smacking the crap out of each other. Well, at least they used to. They're just normal... Well, they're not normal road cars. They have been souped up, but in effect, they're normal road cars. They're allowed on the road. They've got all the right fittings and licensing and all the rest of it for them to be on the road. And as a result of that, the difference between them and you is they're doing it and you're not. And I'd love to have a go. It's a bit like the old days of the RAC rallies, where, you know, they used to go round British normal roads, you know, flying over humpback bridges at, you know, 90 mile an hour, when it's normally at 20 or something, taking off and landing sideways halfway up a tree. And pretty much, I'm pretty sure there isn't a bloke alive who, at some point, didn't want to try that. I mean, we've all occasionally gone over a humpback bridge a bit fast because you get the whee feeling at the top when the car keeps going forward and gravity kind of has to take over. And there's this real whee! almost moment. It's like 0.001 milliseconds of gravityless situation, but you do feel the boof. Even if that's all your suspension does, your wheels never actually leave the floor, but you feel a and you go whee. It's quite a fun feeling. Now, I'm not so sure it'd be fun at, like, 120 mile an hour, but because things go a bit wrong at that kind of speed, but it is one of those weird things, is that the only difference is they're using the same roads you might drive every wretched day. I mean, when we moved up here, got a phone call from hospital. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was like, Liz, what? Liz, what? Guess who I'm behind? Bitch, I'm 100 and something miles away. What on earth makes you think I'm going to know who I'm behind? Is it our boss? No. Is it someone I know? Sort of. How? You behind Pete? I mean, what? I'm behind Colin McRae. Why? Well, I got the racing on at the race course, because he was driving off. Trev was driving somewhere. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? Because I was in hospital, I'd completely forgotten all about it. It was the last time they did the rally anywhere near here. And you're like, I was in hospital and I missed it. I didn't even get to see it on TV, which was even more annoying, actually. I'd love to have seen clips of round here back then in the rally. I would have absolutely loved it. Because don't get me wrong, I can see some. I've seen some roads where you could have a lot of fun around here, in that kind of vein. So, especially the road that, well, the main, not my road, but kind of, and not even the road I'm connected to, but the nearest main road, and it's not a main road, but it's main compared to where I live, because, well, I own this road, so this road's not even a road kind of thing. But it's not even an A road, so don't be too excited. But the kind of the main road through our village, let's put it that way, would be an awesome road for it. It really, really would, because there's a straight bit in the village where you could get some really, really stonk up, and then a couple of really sneaky little bends. And to be fair, the near where my road is, there are some, I don't call barriers, but they put up like this pipe fencing, so it's like a pipe that runs along. It's not a big pipe, but it is like, it's kind of sized pipe, or at least when you're driving along, that's what it looks like. Because I've never actually gone out and poked it in person. It's one of those things, I've occasionally thought about the piping, because it's how I determine where my road is, because it's kind of a bit in. The road I need to turn off into is anyway. And so, I kind of look for it. But that wouldn't stop nothing. That probably would barely stop a pedal cyclist, let alone, and it's on a bend. So all it needs to be is a bit wet, or a few leaves, and someone's in that ditch. I think there's a river in there, actually, partly, and depending on which bit of ditch it is. And so, it could be really quite fun. I remember one day, the friend I went to see last night, I went to go and see her, and the road was blocked between me and her. And it's this same main road, by the way, and which is why it came up. And you kind of went down through a lot of the wiggly bit, out of our village, onto a kind of more normal straighter bit. And like 90% of the way down, they were recovering some lorry thing that had, rolled in the ditch. And I kind of went, you could have put some road signs up. Well, we did. I said, well, where? And he went, well, by here. And I went, yeah, and all the people who come out of, the road I come out of, there's quite a big housing estate in there. We don't know that. We can't see that from where we live. So we turn left as we normally do and get stuck in, because it's quite dark at this point, get stuck. Anyway, I didn't think too much of it. when about, 6 hours later, coming back because it was a late one, and they were still there. They were actually still there. And I went, hello again. And he went, hi. And I went, haven't you done yet? And he went, oh God, no, I'm sick of it. I went, do you need me to go to McDonald's for a coffee? And he looked at me like, you do that? And it's like, of course I would. You've been here like 7 or 8 hours. Do you want to go get some coffee? He said, nah, I'll be all right. We're nearly done. But it's like 2 o'clock in the freaking morning. You've been there for hours. I always have great sympathy for workmen to an extent. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them are very well paid. So, for example, I remember, because I am a chatty person, but I'm a very weird chatty person. I'm a chatty person to an individual. I'm not good at chatty in a group. And I went somewhere local, and parked in the car park, and on the way out there was a guy doing the whole like twisty turny sign thing because they hadn't got electric ones. And I said to him, that doesn't look right. Smell. It's because it needs to go in the one below. There. I kind of went, because it was a bank holiday, and it was like, oh, we're getting it's a shame, bit of a rough deal to be standing here all day. And he went, oh, I love it. And I went, what do you mean? And he went, I'm being paid over £1,000 to stand here today. I went, what? And he went, I'm going to stand here for about 4 hours, wafting this sign. I will be paid because I'm away from home. I'm, it's a bank holiday, it's blah, blah, blah. I will be paid £1,000. And I went, shit me, man. And he went, exactly. I love it. I always book doing bank holidays because I earn a mint. I'm like, fair play. Because all he's got to do is stand there and do this. You can kind of half do it in his sleep. Because, it's basically wait a while, turn. And all he's going to do is, almost like set his watch to vibrate every, 5 minutes. And on the vibration, turn the thing. You'll probably, if you got it right, you can almost do it without waking up, with a bit of practice. So, yeah, this dude was minting. So, don't always be fearful that that they're being exploited or that, they're hard done by. Some of them really aren't, It's like many, 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 many years ago, and I am talking quite a few. I'm talking like 20 plus. So, a friend of mine did some work experience while at university. Now, they were a mature student going back to university, so they weren't 20-something at the time, they were like 30. But they did refuse collection. Because you had to do a job, this was a job, and it wasn't badly paid, so they did it. Well, what do you mean not badly paid? And he said, well, bear in mind, at the time I was earning 18, 19 grand a year. Guy driving the refuse truck, so all he has to do is edge forward a bit, stop, edge forward a bit, stop. 40 grand a year. Over twice what I was earning, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Tube drivers in London earn an absolute mint, and me and ex-husband had a bit of a, I won't say argument, but discussion on this, because I agree that they should earn a reasonable amount. He did not. And I said, because he said, well, all you got to do is sit there and go, crank handle, stop. And I went, they don't pay them that much money for that. And he's like, oh, it's a fucking easy job. Well, in principle, yes it is. But when someone leaps in front of your train, it's soul shattering. Um, it's, you know, that's why they pay them the money, because they have no control over the leapers. And, you know, the people who clean those trains do not normally do the job for more than about 6 months, because it is so soul destroying. Because you don't hit them gently. You know, I'm pretty sure that, not that I've done it, so I can't speak for experience, obviously, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, should you inadvertently manage to delete someone from the population, even if they effectively delete themselves by chucking themselves under your car, train, bus, whatever it is, but if you are the one in control of it, in theory, I am sure that that weighs very heavily on your mind. There was a great advert about drinking and driving here in the UK a while ago, quite a few years ago, and there was like this little boy who, you know, everywhere this guy went, and this guy, you know, it's kind of sort of like, daddy's obviously some kind of businessman, so there's a picture of him at the office, picture of him on a train, picture of him talking, watching TV, and there's this kid almost constantly lying on the floor. And every time the bloke, you know, and he goes to bed and the kid's lying on the floor and he's kind of crying, and it's kind of like, don't drink and drive. Your actions can live with you a really long time. And it is true. I think, you know, should you inadvertently decease someone, you know, because it was not your intention, because you did not, you know, I'm not saying that you should, you know, it's okay to set about and do it, but at least if you set about to do it, you knew what you were getting into, right? But if you inadvertently manage to decease somebody, and especially something like a train that does not hit gently, because a bit like coach fronts, because and buses, if you think of your car, you've got a bonnet in front of you. Depending on your car, you could have 6 foot of metal between you and what you hit. In coaches and trains, it's a matter of inches. And, you know, so you get to see kind of the whites of their eyes almost. And those faces must haunt you. So I do think that, you know, that is part of the reason that they are paid so much, is because, I won't say it's an easy way out for a lot of people, but it is something that people do. And I don't think anything really can prepare you for it either. No matter how strong and mentally happy you are, I really honestly don't think it's something that you can kind of go, you'll never know if you're going to be okay with it until it happens. It's one of those kind of, you almost don't know how you're going to react until, well, it happens and you find out. And I do feel very sorry for them. But ex-hubby doesn't entirely understand why that means they should earn like 60, 70 grand. And the answer is because once it happens, they won't work doing that again. Almost certainly. They won't go back to work. It might be years before they can go back to work. And they probably won't go back as a train driver. They'll have to learn a whole new profession and start off again, you know, kind of on school leavers' wages. So I do get it from that point of view. It's a bit like, you know, the Formula 1 drivers who earn millions. And there is a bit, you know, there is a bit of you that kind of goes, it's a lot of money. But if it all goes terribly wrong, it's life-changing, you know. I do disagree with the footballers' payments, because they don't half get a lot of money for whinging. And they are paid a heck of a lot. an obscene amount of money, frankly. But again, should something happen to them somehow, their career can be over. Doesn't usually happen to them on the pitch, mind, but should something happen to you and you now can't run around for 90 minutes, mind you, most of them don't run around 90 minutes, but that's a whole new story. Most of them kind of stand around and you're kind of going, I can stand around for that kind of money. I mean, Christ, I'd even get fit for that kind of money, you know. But yeah, it is an odd world. One of the things Trev's always said, is that you're not paid what you earn, you're paid what you earn. And there is a lot of truth in that statement. And so the fact that, you know, some actor in some film got paid 50 million or whatever, right? Well, now, you know, chances are many of them, all they did was stand around and spout some lines. But we all know it's a little more involved than that. We all know that, you know, they often have to spend a lot of time away from their family. You know, there are downsides to it. You know, now obviously, you know, the ones who are very successful, the proper famous ones that we all know and love, it's a little harder to have huge amounts of sympathy for their privacy and all the rest of it, because, well, you wanted to be famous and now you are, you know, don't whine about it. But it is, that comes with a cost. It means you can't go on a holiday with your family because, well, you can't go anywhere without being recognised. And then chased for autographs. Can I have a photo? Or, I really hated you in that. You really let me down. You know, all of those kind of moments, right? They can't go anywhere without that. They can't go and get a pint of milk, you know, from the petrol station or anything. But that is the life they wanted. And so, to an extent, I don't have quite as much sympathy, because I feel like the footballers, you know, many of our footballers seem to get done for drunk driving. When you earn their kind of money, we are talking hundreds of, you know, we're talking nearly 200 grand a week. Most people in the UK don't earn that a year. The average salary in the UK is £34,000. You know, so, and obviously these people bolster that average, because there's quite a few football players, but these people bolster that average quite a bit by having such a much higher salary. And so, I'm sorry, but, you know, if you earn 200 grand a week, get a fucking chauffeur. You can have a team of them and not feel it. I mean, you can, you know, I don't know exactly how much you'd pay for a chauffeur, but, you know, if you think of a man with, you know, you're providing a car, because, you had to have a car anyway. You've got a car, you need to pay for the insurance. But, even if you had 4 of them, so they did 6-hour shifts a day, and maybe at a push 12. Even if you paid them 30 grand, you've still got more than plenty to live off, because that doesn't even take 1 week's salary out of your life. Plus, of course, they all get promotional payments for, you know, being seen wearing, you know, some shit, or claiming they smell of some shit or whatever it is, right? So, you know, and that's on top of their salaries. So these people could well afford chauffeurs. So there's no reason to be caught drunk driving when you earn that kind of money. I mean, there's no reason to be caught drunk driving, period. But, you know, when you earn that kind of money, you can have a fleet of chauffeurs. You don't even have to, like, do the taxi thing like the rest of us would. You know, you're going to have a fleet of people whose sole job it is to drive you somewhere should you have the burning need. You know? See, I don't have much sympathy for the football people. I remember when I was in hospital, there was a big hoo-ha about footballers. A group of footballers had been staying at the Hilton in London and basically invited some girl up to their room, and she wasn't 16 like she told them. And it was going through the courts because, of course, under 16 is not legal over here. Although it's surprising how many times someone must have done the deed because, they're pregnant or whatever, and yet that's kind of overlooked, which I always thought was a little odd. But yeah, they were being done because about, a bunch of them had a go, shall we call it. She didn't know what she was getting into. Oh, like us, she didn't. Now, I'm not saying that how you dress makes you responsible. But if you dress like a hooker and a bunch of lads invite you up to their hotel room and you've never met them before, you aren't going up for Scrabble. I mean, what did you think you were going for? It's kind of... But then that's because she's young. Because she's too young to think that, well, what would they be inviting me there for? I remember the outcome to that, actually. I don't even remember the names of the footballers involved, to be honest. I think I was taken slightly in my mind by two other events that went on around about the same time, which was a train overshot barriers at one of the major train stations. Didn't hurt any. I don't remember it hurting anyone, but it did make a big mess at the train station. And obviously I was in for leukemia, and pretty much 3 days in, a hospital had killed their patient because instead of giving them an epidural and then giving them the chemo, I never got any friggin' epidurals, but they put the chemo in the epidural and the epidural stuff in where the chemo should have gone, and, well, pumping chemo straight into his spine killed him. And I'm like, oh, cheers for that. As I'm staring at my chemo bag, you sure it's the right shit and you put it in the right hole? It's, yeah. So I was slightly distracted by that, needless to say, because that's not it's like everything. It's the who's your surgeon? Oh, it's it's Mr. Ujulaflip, and then on the news, in courts, Mr. Ujulaflip has been found to have killed off 300 patients. What? Oh, and of course the other thing that happened while I was in hospital was Harold Shipman. They discovered Harold Shipman had been killing off all of his patients. And the nurses kind of came up to me and went, "We're really sorry, Liz." And I went, "What are we sorry for?" "Your dad looks like Harold Shipman." He didn't look... He looked a bit like Harold Shipman, but not enough that, I mean, let's put it this way. I don't think it was enough, but I could see a resemblance in that, he had the same sort of beard and a kind of similar-ish shaped face. But it's kind of... Hello, fellow Liz. So yeah, the whole Harold Shipman thing had kicked off, so it was kind of like daily body count for Harold Shipman that came up on the news, so I remember a lot of that. So welcome to the stream, Liz. I am open to all and any questions that you may have. I'm assuming I can be heard. Is all I can say. My computer says that, yeah, that you can. So, but I also know my computer line. Thanks for kicking me, dog. I feel so much better now. With a sore hand. There we go, left snake is complete. Kind of scary. Yeah, that's kind of a bit weird, right? Slide you wire and wiggle my hand to see if I can try and cheer up what's going on there. Kind of feels like I'm not getting. None of you are kind of able to talk to me for some reason. I hope that's not the case. of drink is needed. Pins. Okay. The right hand snake is now kind of weird. As I said yesterday, if I thought about it a bit more when I designed it, I would have had them come down into a point and make panels. Regret that, but I'm not starting again. Excuse me. And again. Oh. Welcome to the world of Liz. I don't think I've really done too much of that on stream. When I steam, I do tend to wake people up, so I apologise for that. Dead people for like 20-mile radius usually kind of turn over and go, can you get the noise down? I am... And there's no reason why I'm sneezing, my nose fancied it. It thought it would be a fun thing to do, so it did. Usually against my will, to be honest, but... Oh, shut your whiny dog. They groan like they've got the weight of the world on their shoulders. All mine you have to do in life is, well, be there. They do feel obliged to park at the ants moving in Nova Scotia. Yes, I am in the UK, and I swear they hear them. Because we spend a lot of our time barking at nothing. And then the few times I've heard something, they're like... And you're like, I heard something. And you didn't even twitch. You know? You didn't even notice. So... I'm under no illusions that come the mad axe wielding murderer that I am necessarily safe. However, falling leaves 20 miles away, I'm safe from those. definitely safe from those. Changing the angle of my pins because I'm now not holding it against the side. I'm held down. you'll notice I pull out great clumps of pins and they disappear quite quickly, which is slightly reassuring. But, you know, I am not overly slow. It's just not speed sport. Pin goes for flight. I know I touched you while you were sleeping and I made you jump. No dog tears. Who was sleeping. You woke up because he woke up, didn't you? Yes. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Go back to sleep, both of you. Good boy. Okay. Getting a bit much. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Stick. there. Okay. Something moved in Nova Scotia again. Seriously, animals. I believe it's my neighbours moving. Not moving house, but, you know, doing something. It was a van for next door. They weren't coming to steal you. Or me. The world is not going to end. Okay? No one's going to die. You will have food to eat later. They've not come to take it away. Usually they're bringing you some, so I don't know why you're miserable. You should like hearing vans and cars outside. It'd be like Mr. Tesco bringing dog food, or Friday Night Nugget Man. You should like them, Carl. we have definitely averaged 38 inches now. So let's update that. Oops, it's biggie. Okay. Romping our way through mesh at the end. Hankering to watch Vent for answer. I love that film. Can't quite explain why either. It's kind of there's not really a story in it other than they die, you know. Yeah. Now that definitely isn't right. It's that hard. It's the second time I've done that today. Bit weird. What? Hello, Rory. Yes, I love you too. I do. Yes. Yes, you're lovely. Oh, oh. Don't want to be leakhead. No. No, I don't. I'm not a mummy popsicle. I'm not. My hands do not taste of anything good. I have not been eating anything. I have not had food. I didn't even eat yesterday. No. And I know you do love me with all your little furry heart, except when there's food or I want to trim your nails. In which case, the food wins and I lose over nails. Yes, I do. Amy, you're not missing out, girl. You're not. No, you're not missing out. You're not. No, it's all right. Yeah. You're making me all wet, Rory. I've got a horribly wet hand now. Stop looking at me like I stole a burger off you. Yes, I do love you. Yes. Mwah. Good boy. Oh, well, Maybe not quite so much. Standing there is not helping, man. But you are a good boy. Yes, you are. And I loves you loads. I do. And your sister's getting really worked up because there isn't room for her. Yes. Oh, I don't want to be licked. What is wrong with you two? Oh, actually, I know what's wrong with you two. Can you just not? Rory, you're leaning on the pillow. If you not done off, I may have doggy kebab for tea. Yeah. And you won't get any because you'll be already eaten. Yeah. That didn't go to plan. You're wrong. Because, yeah, I didn't finish you before I did you. Oh, No, that's not the right smile. Didn't do the other half of you. That doesn't feel like I didn't do the half either. No, I just did the wrong half stuff. Seems to be making a lot of little stupid mistakes today. Boo! Hello, nose. See, the problem is, you come up asking gently for hugs, and then your sister comes barging in. So now I have 2 armfuls of dogs, and no arms to do lace making. Why don't you go to sleep? Because you were sleeping till I touched you accidentally and you leapt like I shot you in the bum. Yes. Because you were sleepeting. Yes, you are. Oh, Amy, you're not a parrot. Hey, Sigabear, you're not a parrot, dog. Thank you. I know what you want. Yeah, that doesn't mean you're getting it. I'm going to do some more of this first. Hounds. Hedgehounds. I know what they want. My puppy dogs are hungry. Now telling me that it must be overdue for the feeding of the pup. It's not. And you know full well you do not have a fixed feeding time, and while I'm busy doing something, it is definitely not feeding time of the pup. No, it is not. You will have to wait. You will. Yes, I do love you, and I will. I will feed you. I will. But not this moment. Oh, I'll feed. I'm determined to get to the bottom of this today. And then they can have it. Why am I making so many stupid mistakes? I just seem to be making loads of them. And it's not like I'm not concentrating. I mean, I know I've had dog distractions, but I've been making a lot of mistakes. I know the end is near, and I won't say a bit excited, but I'm certainly kind of hurrah nearly there. But It's like I'm being made to do it at gunpoint. I'm making so many mistakes. In the wrong holes, not closing the pins. I just seem to be doing lots of dumb stuff. The house, Sugar Bear. Perhaps Sugar Bear will kindly confirm if they can hear me or not. Because no one else has when I've asked, so. Everyone seems to be having a Sunday afternoon nap. Hi Christy, how are you? Hopefully you can hear me, because I'm not convinced right now, but it says you can hear me, so I assume so. Beginning to wander though. Oh, I feel like I feel like the sound is not happening. Oh, fuck off. Dog, I know you're very lovable, but I'm busy. Go away. I want to finish this. There really isn't that much in it. So you just need to off. Animal. Let's put these back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said no, dog. Ow! Balls. You won't let me trim them, so you can't use them on me, okay? I said get off. Oh, good. I'm glad people can hear me. That's a good thing. Rory, get off. Go on. I understand. I understand entirely. Stupid animal. As I say, it's not that I don't love them, but I can't. You know, I've always found that dogs especially, you could sit around all afternoon watching TV, being in a perfect opportunity to hug them as much as their little hearts desire. But no, they'll be sleeping somewhere minding their own. The moment you go and do something, now they need you to pay them full attention, but you're busy. And then they seem to get really upset that you're not, you know, giving them the attention they feel they deserve. And it's like, I've just spent, I know, 4 hours watching a couple of films. You could have had hugs for 4 hours. 2 minutes into me doing this, you know, you're going, oh, you know, I'm busy now. You know, you missed your window. I really want to get to the bottom of this lace today. I'm determined. Good girl. Good boy. Being outside. Done good things. So what are you making at the moment then, Christy? You're always making something. Dog stew. Dog stew. How to make dog stew? Get some beef that could even be slightly past its date. Chuck it in the bottom of a pressure cooker. You don't have to brown it, it's a dog. Throw in a multitude of marginally disgusting vegetables. Yeah, that's difficult. I understand that one, Christy. But so yeah, honey bear dog stew. Chop up some beef into like 1 centimetre cubes. Chop up some vegetables into roughly 1 centimetre cubes. Put in a small amount of water to cover the above. Pressure cook it for 20 minutes. They will love it. It will taste like vomit to you because it has no salt in it, no pepper, no nothing. They will love it. Absolutely, you can use chicken if you want. They will absolutely love it. And because you pressure cooked it and the water becomes the gravy, it helps them get their water intake, which obviously is a problem with a dog who's not eating and drinking particularly. It helps get some water content in them so they're not dehydrated. It's not got any salt in it, so it's not going to do them any harm. But it's full of vitamins and shit because, of course, Normally when we boil vegetables, we boil the goodness out of them while the goodness goes in the water, but we're keeping the water. You can even get dog gravy granules, which are basically flavourless gravy granules. They smell alright, but they don't taste of nothing. Believe me, I've tried. But again, you can pour that in to thicken the thing so they actually think they're getting human food. And then because they think they're getting human food, they're like, oh my god, I'm getting human food. Yummy, yummy, yummy. It's not. It's something you made in 20 minutes for them. A friend of ours, their dog was on his way out. And he hadn't eaten for days. He had lost a lot of weight. Everyone thought he wasn't going to make it till tomorrow. And I was going around anyway. So I took some dog stew. He lived another 5 days because he ate the whole lot like it was, you know, starvation's man buffet, right? He chowed that stuff down. They couldn't believe it. He got, he was barely moving around. He wouldn't even look in his bowl. Put that in it and he kind of, more please. And because it's all good for him, he can have it. It's, it's nothing going to hurt him. He was so perky the next day. He was almost back to his normal self. It's not going to do that for everybody. But dog stew is definitely a thing. We do dog stew here, occasionally, as a treat. Don't we? Yes, dog stew. Although making stew of dog is feeling like a really good plan right now, madam. Isn't it? Hello. Because you asked nicer than you normally do. You can have a Huggy. You didn't do the flying face limpet. Yes, you are a good girl. You are a good girl. Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Now back her off. Look, I've only got this much to go. I do. You can watch it on the screen. Look, 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 look. You can watch it there. Yeah, I know you don't want to, madam. And I know that talking of food, that's exactly what you want. You want doggy food. Well, you can't have it until I'm done. So the more you interrupt me, the longer it's going to be. Okay? Don't you talk back to me. You are not a parrot. I've explained this to you. What? Seriously, animals. Ow. I may have to. Will you? You do not get to demand your food out of me. That's not how this house works. You know that. You had a biscuit. You did. Don't look at... Don't you be telling me you did not. Lying cow. You had a bonio. You did. You had a bonio while I had a snack. And that's all I've eaten in 2 days was that little snack. You have had more food than I have. And you weigh like 1 boobage. Yes. Go on. Off you go. Okay, she weighs more than 1 boobage, but she doesn't know. I may be well endowed, but I'm not that well endowed, you know? Just settle down, animals. For I love you loads, but I will love you less if you don't settle down. Now, I really need a bag. Or something. There's an or something. I'll do. I'm going to need those when I tie them off. Now I'm not going to cut them yet because I want to check out foobarred. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So although I've got a couple I could remove, I'm not going to. I'm going to work on this bit and get them down a bit more. I was just thinking, it's really funny how, you know, every year there's the Tonys, the BAFTAs, and all this stuff to recognise actors. They never recognise the animals. If you think back to when many of us were children, and you had Champion the Wonder Horse, and Lassie, and Gentle Ben, and Mr. Ed, a bit before that, you had Littlest Hobo, mainly dogs. You hardly ever see, I mean, other than like the Disney stuff with the, Journey Home stuff, where, pets get separated from their family and a weird conglomeration of pets make their way across some trek and harrowing thing and pick up a few and maybe lose one and all of that kind of stuff. You don't really get long running stuff with animals in it these days. Very rare to get. I mean, even things like Salem from Sabrina, he doesn't really have. Salem, of course, is now human in the new Sabrina stuff. Doesn't feel right. It is. That's all right. My legs. You're not dying of starvation, animal. Stop acting like you haven't seen food for 20 years. Come on. It really won't take that long. I mean, I know it's a long time for a dog who's hungry. done with this stick now. I could just kind of knot it and chop it all off. But I'm going to wait in case I screwed up. I need to fix something. But in fact, very well done. Also done. And now we drill. Yes, tomorrow I really must phone the optician. This is getting ridiculous. So, while 4 of you are done, we have a bit of a mountain this side. Start trimming this direction. So, put you back in the hole for a minute. Do this corner. What are you doing? Hello, nose. Can you two stop this? Hmm? You are not that hungry. Come on, off you get. Come on. You are not going to die. You are not that bad. You're just being irritated. You two done. No, Rory, I need you to not. Come on. Fuck off. I'm so near the end. Stop being a pain in the butt. Oh. You're just making life annoying. You really, really are. Look like an equal triangle. Why not? It is. But there's definitely not the same amount of bobbins on each side. It's because you are spoken for. Start right on. Just on the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, I need someone to use the computer. Let's ignore that one. And keep going. Hurrah! Last pin. So now we fight off the dog and get the camera and take a photo to see how much we screwed up. I don't think we did, and I don't think you can really see a lot, but we will scan it for obvious. Could have twisted that once more, but I'm pretty sure that is 3. Looks like. So, one thing I want to do before I do that is I want to practice my knot. The reason I want to practice my knot is I have a problem with the knot. Not in doing the knot, knot's a piece of piss, in believing in the knot. Now, what do I mean by that? In my mind, if you have a knot where you tie left over right, and then so you do take your pen, go left over right and round, and then you take the same one, which is now on the right, over left and round. All you have done is round the left one, round the right one. This should not hold, and it doesn't. Mine never do. Everybody else's does, mine never do. So I'm going to check, because logically if I do left over right and round, and then I do left over right and round again, I've tied knots with 2 different size. They don't hold either. See, this is the thing. Oh, that'll hold. Fucking doesn't for me. Never does for me. Doesn't work. Which is why I'm practicing. So if I do left over right and round twice, and then drop it because I'm a numbnut. I spend my entire life dropping everything. It's like I go, oh look, this is the thing I want, I'm going to drop it now. So now if we do the right over left thing, which everyone says is the one that should work, like that. Does that hold better? Yeah, that holds better. Let's do that. So, let's put. Some of you aren't ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's put you in a stick. And we'll work from left to right. Because that seems a good plan. Stick. And stuff here. So I have 2 of these. My box. Make these longer. Make them even longer. Rory, fuck off. Excuse my language, guys, but I am tired. Go away. I know you love me. I really, really do. But today, I am beginning not to love you. Right? So, chop. In the box. Chop. In the box. Take pair A. And we do left. Because we're going to do exactly as we did. Over right. Twice. And pull. And then right, over left, and pull. And we'll put the threads over there. Make it a bit longer. Snip. Box, snip, box, left over Snip. And chuck. Twice. Snug. And do. Check. Snip. Check. Right. Twice. Snip, check, and twiddle, snip, check, and twiddle. Oh, my butt cheeks. Oh, sitting on the edge of the couch again makes my bum hurt. I still do not need doggy assistance. At no point did I call for doggy assistance. I just said my butt cheeks hurt. Yeah. Amy. Little one. My butt is sore because I'm sitting on the edge of the couch. And obviously I was up too late and my body has not recovered sufficiently for the morning. You, however, slept like the dead. And then when I got up, you slept like the dead some more. Didn't you? Oh. You've slept enough for all of us. Yes. Yes, you did. And this bobbin's being a shit bag. There it is. Amy, I said fuck off. I promise I do love my dogs, but when you're trying to concentrate on something and all they want to do is be in the way, it's really hard. It's the same reason why I got them the door opening system that I did, so they could let themselves in and out, because otherwise all I was doing was getting up, letting them out, getting them up, letting them in, getting up, letting them out, getting up, letting them in, getting them up. Oh, I've changed my mind. Just actually these two don't really ask to go out, which was even worse, but you know, it's just that whole kind of, I am not put on this earth to be your waiter, you know. I own you, not the other way around. And I love you dearly, but I can't, and I will do everything I can to help you, but I still have limits. still need to do me things, such as I need to do my job when I'm working, because that's what they pay me for. It's how I get your food. I'm paid for the house and the bed that you sleep on. That didn't feel quite right. Oh. real soon, dog. Now sod off. Got 7 more pairs to tie. And then I'll be done. And then I'll show everyone what it looks like briefly. And then I'll do the dog thing. And then I'll even wonder about what I'm going to eat. But until then, please, go outside in the sunshine while there still is the last few moments of sunshine and enjoy the sunshine. Go and do something doggified. This is the wonky one. That's because this is coming off. That'll be why. No wonder that's difficult to undo. I need a pin. There's a pin. Ow! Just ram the... Come off then. Do it that way. Just piss off, animal! For 5 wretched minutes. It's really not that long. I've been streaming less than 3 hours. You're acting like it's been days. You go in there. You need to go over there to be glued later. Seriously, how can I be this fat and my arse so sore when it sits on a couch? I mean, there is some padding between me and the edge of the couch, it just doesn't feel like it. Feels like I'm sitting on a concrete plinth. Only it's not as cold. Don't know what it is about arse bones, but they just always seem to be right at the surface now about how big your butt is. I mean, if you're really skinny, you expect it. But when you're kind of not, you kind of hope that some of the padding would, you know, help. For those who weren't around when I explained why I'm knotting them, well, first of all, because I can. Secondly, because they're going to be at the bottom and I'm going to put ribbon over it so that it's got, you know, a protective edge, but also, and something that help keep it in shape when it comes to any washing and stuff. But on top of that, also means it can hide the knots, so I don't have to spend hours making it pretty. So that's how that's going to work. Why are you playing up? Oh, come on. You can't screw up now. You're fucking not. Let's see what's wrong with you. Let's undo you. Undo that. So now I have to do the bobbin thing without the bobbins. So, you're twisted, so I need to do that and twist. And now I can tie a knot in it. Let's try that again. 1, 2. Yeah, that's better. Here we go. Again, much like whenever you're late, all the traffic lights are red. It does feel like, you know, we're down to the final bobbins. Now that anything can go wrong, will. It's able to be a bit more level than that, thank you. My butt really hurts. Considering I've sitting all my life, basically sitting on this couch. It's funny how it can hurt when I do this. I don't know where I'm going to put the pins. To find something temporary to put pins in. Rory, are there geese walking around the road? Next door has some geese. And it feels like I can hear them at the front. Don't you try that. Right. Now we're all knotted, I will trim them down to a slightly more manageable length. There we go. That's sorted. And where will I put them? I know I will. Oh no, not that one. I wanted the other one. Where's the other one? No, not you. Why is it whenever you've got two of something, you pick something up and it's always the wrong one? It's the USB effect. So let me empty this tin. It's got the least in it. And put the pins in it. I guess I've thrown another one on the floor. Doing well today with throwing them on the floor. Because this is where you see look, they stick to your fingers, and so you pick your fingers up and you can't tell they're attached because you can't feel them, and then you go to do something else and then they fall off. That's how you end up throwing them everywhere. one on the floor. And another one. It's because they when you grab them sufficiently hard that you dent them into your finger, so as you move they're just kind of attached by willpower, and then the willpower gives up, you end up throwing them everywhere. I have just finished one. I should have updated my thing and I haven't, but wait a sec. I'm just currently throwing pins around the universe. Oh. Let's get the old metal detector out again to make sure I'm not leaving them for the dogs to find, because what I don't need next is an exciting trip to the vet for them to remove a pin from a foot. But this is when you pull them all out and you look at it and you go, well, I screwed that up. Basically, yeah. You know, it is a dog thing to do, and they'll do it again tomorrow. You know, they don't seem to learn from their stupidity. You know, they might look sorry for themselves on the way and to and from the vet, but you get home and there'd be another one. If there was another one on your lawn, you bet your ass they'd do it again. It's a bit like if you've got a dog. There was a beautiful cartoon cell-based sketch of a dog, and it comes across something and it eats it and coughs it up. I think it's a bottle top, and it kind of right, and then it kind of goes, oh, a bottle top, nom 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 nom, and it's like, yeah, that's dog. That is so dog. That, you know, basically, I ate it, I honked it up. Well, maybe it's edible now. Yeah, it's like, no, what part of that? Charlie did it with frozen chicken. It was the most disgusting thing you've ever seen. Well, not quite the most disgusting thing you've ever seen, because that was Maddie eating poo as Charlie was trying to deposit it. But it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. But Charlie stole some frozen chicken and then honked it because it was frozen. And as well, it was trying to defrost, but it was still basically frozen. So he honked it and then looked at it for like 30 seconds. He must have had about 4 more goes at that chicken. It really was quite unpleasant. So then we take this off here, and we take this off. So here is our very long strip. I shall put up there for the moment, and here is the magic strip. So we will layer it backwards and forth, because, well, I'm never going to manage to make the camera zoom out that far, because it doesn't go that far. So there you go. We have a strip. It is a lot of hours long. Especially when you consider, on average, we managed 1 inch a day as an average. But if I do this, you'll notice that this is considerably darker than this. That's just the colour on the bobbins, it does wash off. But you can see I've got my straight edge this side and a slightly, looks a bit manked at the top here, but it's not. It's just the way it's kind of moved. If I zoom in, you can see I've got a straight edge and my rounded edge. This is going to be the outside edge. But there is, zoom out a little bit because it's a little bit kind of up close and personal. There you go. But we have our first strip out of 7. So can't really do much with one on its own, but we have our first strip. So tomorrow, although I have pierced the top of strip number 2, I need to do some bobbin stuff because, well, I don't know how much thread's left on it, to be honest. I mean, let's give it a look. I mean, this is random enough. It's quite a lot, actually. So, fuck off, bobbin. Oh, Jesus Christ, why is it every wretched stream I've got to have one spam bot? Why is it? Or it's like adverts. They only ever come when you're fucking doing something. Right, so I have quite a lot. It's knotted up there. Typical. See, how can it not? It never had the opportunity. There you go. So I've got quite a lot. And if I measure that, because I just so happen to see my tape measure. Hang on. Tape measure. So I'm not going to do it on stream because, well, it's hard enough to do it off stream, let alone with it trying to knot up without doing it at arm's length on a camera. So give me a sec, because I've no idea. I can't hear what you. It'll be it's part of Heartbound, but I can't tell because I don't listen to what you're listening to. Not unless it's the 80s music. I'm not listening to it. Oh, I can't hear a thing. All I've got is you lot. Because otherwise I get distracted by it. So that's 1. But yeah, it's part of Heartbound. 2. So I think I put about 4.5 to 5 meters of thread on each one, and on each bobbin, and I've got about 2.5 left. But so I could arguably put a lot less. I might put 4 on, not 5, if that makes sense. Just so that I've got enough, but I'm not wasting too much. I mean, it's not like it's spun from gold or anything. But I do need to rewind 84 bobbins, which, as we know, took a really long frigging time. Rory, fuck off! I have had enough of you two this afternoon. I'm almost tempted to say you're not getting fed today. By the way, they do randomly have a day when they're not fed. I'm almost tempted to say no dinner today because you're being annoying. And if you're going to demand it, you don't get it. Oh. My dogs do not beg. That's not how this household works. You can do a lot of things, but you don't beg. Come on. But yes, huzzah! Strip number 1. As I say, tomorrow I will have to wind a shit ton of bobbins, which takes a long time. Well, that would be nice. Pretty much. I've already said there could be dog kebab, and it would not be a kebab for dogs. It's not like dog stew where you're making stew for dogs. No, this would be dog kebab, as in I would get fed, and there would be less dog. I've already I do randomly occasionally threaten to kebab my dog. I would never do it, but don't tell them that. It's like shouting at your kids, I could kill you. It's or your boyfriend or your partner or whatever. I could fucking kill you. Do that again and I will kill. No, you don't mean it. But you kind of mean it, but you never actually would. Um, Controversial discussion. We've all done things like shooter training at work, right? And inevitably someone goes, I don't understand how that will ever happen. Probably because you're the reason that kind of thing happens, love, right? It's there, there will always be a time when you're, I'm not saying that they're right to do it, but sometimes a little bit like, someone, narrowly misses your car and the only reason they missed is because you kind of hauled anchor and did handbrake turns to avoid them, right? And they pull off absolutely oblivious and you're seething. It is times like that you can understand how road rage happens. And there are times when someone's done something really stupid and you're left clearing up the mess. You can see why a lesser person could crack then and there, right? And there are times when, so I don't agree with hurting animals. I really don't. But there are times, I can see why lesser people do. I can see that, like these two constantly badgering me because Rory won't let you cut his nails. He scratches the living crap out of you, which is why it looks like Wolverine's had a go at my arm and, all the rest of it. And some people, even if their last straw is the same length, manage to recover enough to not actually do anything about it. Other people don't. Other people keep going. And, this afternoon, I can see a lesser man putting them in the car, taking them somewhere and leaving them. Because they're being really annoying. I really could. I'd never do it. But I could see how someone else would. If you're going to, it's a bit like really small children being really annoying. I can see why you would, kind of bitch slap them into the next century. Because right here, right now, you're just so infuriating. There's so much kind of frustration inside you. It's got to come out somewhere. And, well, for example, if the dog or the child's being really annoying, you don't really beat up your husband. He's done nothing wrong. Well, so it is funneled at the thing that caused the rage. Now, 9 times out of 10, the thing that caused the rage has no idea why you're so pissed at it, because it's stupid. And that's people too. We've all seen kind of like clips of gamers who've lost and smashed their keyboards or punch the computer screen, or it's that kind of thing. It's not that they want to harm their expensive stuff, but they're so frustrated that they can't keep it in anymore. And so I'm not saying I understand animal violence, because I don't. How can you look at something that furry and cute and go, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to cut your ears off and burn you or put petrol on you and set light you. There is never a call for that. Well, threaten to kebab them, sure, but don't do it, Well, speaking of games, hopefully it's still on, because I haven't really had a chance to play it, actually. Hang on. Is my thing still on? Hang on. I don't know what time it finishes. Event details, what time does it finish? Oh, it ends tomorrow morning. Okay, so I can play that this evening. So Monsters and Memories is currently in. They did a stress test, but they kind of have opened it up to their servers as they often do at the end of a stress test. And so I feel a burning need to go and slice some monsters, because I can't slice dogs. Blow a few up or something. Skin the jackals alive and make bags out of them. That's what I'm going to do. By the way, you can actually do that. Well, you don't skin them, but you get their skins and you make bags out of them. I fancy going on a jackal hunt and getting lots of doggy hides and making leather bags out of them. That sounds like it helped, doesn't it? Really, I mean, either that or I'd get on with trying to make the game that I was going to make, but I actually fancy killing things. Yeah, I can't. Borderlands and stuff is not really the kind of game that I'm into. Games that I do are like Solitaire, Gems, or MMOs. I will play a bit of ARPG, but it's not 100% my thing. I don't dislike it, and I can play quite a bit of it, hence PoE. But certain MMOs, some are bar my nuts and I can't stand them, but certain MMOs really click with me, and I can waste 40 years in that, doing pretty much nothing. Yeah, I can't. I'm a bit into Mega Bonk at the moment. Not that I'm any good at it, but I'm a bit into Mega Bonk at the moment. But again, it's like a 6-7 minute game. Well, it's a 6-minute game with basically, and now we're out to get you. You will die from this. But is it annoying as heck? Oh, yeah. Jesus, yes. However, it's a bit like losing tic-tac-toe against the computer. It's so simple. Why am I not winning? And so you keep playing. And I find that with things like Mega Bonk, I really like that kind of thing. But you only really do it once. Once you've unlocked everything, you probably won't play it again. But I'm having fun. I've unlocked a fair few things. Got plenty to go. And so yeah, I'm kind of pleased with my progress. I've certainly done worse in days of yore. Animal, what part of I will turn you into a kebab do you not understand? Yes, you. You have the intelligence, young lady, to know exactly that I am one hair from locking you in the garage so I can have some peace and quiet. I've never done that to them. I did lock them in the garage when I was waiting for the ambulance. It's the only time I've locked them in the garage while I'm still here. Because, by the way, do not feel sorry for them being in the garage. I have a double garage with a rubberised floor. They have a radio, toys, they get food, they've obviously got water. So it's cool in the summer, warmer in the winter. There's things to lie on, there's rugs and shit, and well, you destroyed the big dog bed that I put in, but there was a dog bed till you ate it, and of course it was full of feathers, didn't know that. That was a bitch, and it's a bit messy in there, but it's basically the dog playroom, so do not feel sorry for that threat, by the way. It's not like, I'm putting them in 4 concrete walls with, as a punishment. It's fun in there. They've got toys and bones and yeah, but I'm tempted. I am so tempted for 5 minutes peace. A friend of mine and I have always joked about a dog taser. Not because you want to hurt them, just because you want them to sit them down for 5 minutes, peace. Yes. Dog tasers. Maybe the Shark Tank the sharks will agree and help me fund a company making dog tasers, so that the world can have 5 minutes peace. you tried Monsters and Memories? It's free, by the way. Guaranteed. I mean, they're open at the moment. That's the reason I'm asking. It'll shut at 5 o'clock my time tomorrow, but so you've got 11 hours, but you could play Monsters and Memories. No, 11 hours and it powers down again because it's not even in alpha yet, but it's more playable than things like fucking Pantheon, which is a big pile of dog crap. It's... Will you quit licking me? So it's not so it's going to go into beta, well, I think it's kind of in alpha now, but I think it's going to go beta soon, early access at the beginning of next year. So it's months away from early access, but they've got another playtest on, they've got a 10-day or something playtest in November, or is it 2 weeks, something like that. So another playtest at the beginning of November, I think it is. But they're currently open now, which is the only reason, which is where I'm thinking of going. But there's a playtest in November, and then it will go into early access Q1 next year. But it's far more playable now than even some of the games that have come out that I played. New World was in a worse state than this. Saga of Leucemia, fuck that shit. I've been on quite a few RPGs and they sucked. This one is a lot like EverQuest in concept, but obviously quite different in a lot of ways. But it is currently absolutely free because, well, they haven't decided whether it's a viable game or not. But the answer is please don't decide it's not a viable game. There are people sitting here going, take my money. But it is very playable. You can technically get to level 60, and people have, apparently, in the closed servers. So, because obviously they have some people doing some testing. And yeah, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it hasn't got bugs in it. But there's a lot of fun in it. And if you're into a proper MMO, yeah, it's certainly where I'm going to see. I see myself wasting a lot of my life. Oh, of course it's adverts. Fuck adverts. Cool. It's November sometime, you know. See if I can dig out when the next one is. News. You know, pretty sure it's not like the 4th of November, but hang on, trying to find. Because my mailbox got destroyed, I can't go look in my mailbox, which is slightly irritating. Yeah, it just says public services. Don't forget to also join us in November. Yeah, I know what you mean. So it's sometime it's sometime in November, which obviously really isn't that far away. Oh, I could have sworn that they had the dates somewhere. Where were the dates? They did they did put them somewhere. I'm sure they announced in a fairly clear, we're going to do tests here, here, here and here, and one of them was the November one, but because this was an intervening one. They had one a couple of weeks ago and they wanted to do a stress test one, not just a, play test. They wanted to try and cram everyone into one zone and stress the crap out of it. So, search for the word November. 10 days in November, 10 days in November. November the 1st, 10th to the 10th is the next one. Yeah, it's Unity. By the way, so is Mega Bonk. Yeah, it's Unity. So they're playing 1st to the 10th of November. Just so you know. So yes, I'm going to leave us all here because obviously I have completed my thing. Let me update my status because, well, I finished strippage. Carrot strip now has to be how does that look if I do that? That doesn't look too bad, we'll do that. Yes, tomorrow we will start strip number 2. And yeah, we are done. I don't know quite where I'm going to put this yet. I'm going to find somewhere to put it, somewhere to store it in the meantime. I think I can see somewhere I'm going to put it, so that's a good thing. I need to have a bit of a sort out, and I need to smack dogs or something. For they are trying to sit on my feet now. Well, one is sitting on my feet, the other one's trying to stand on the other one, so yeah, and thank you everybody for coming. I shall see you hopefully tomorrow, although I might have a day off, just because I can. See you later. Bye bye.